What's good, y'all? It's your boy Jarod and your girl Gabby back for another episode of the Kicks and Shit Show, episode 33. 33. I mean, that's a legendary number, Gabs. Like, I don't know how you feel about 33.
I mean, 30s are better than your 20s. You know, you're knowing who you are, you're understanding, you're coming into your own. I think it's a beautiful time.
Are you coming into your own in your 30s?
Yeah, I mean, I am. Maybe I'm a late bloomer, but.
You know, I say legendary because, of course, you know, one of the greatest basketball players of all time were number 33. The legendary Kareem Abdul-Jabbar was number 33. I mean, you know me. I talk about GOATs all the time, and I say there's only three people who are in the GOAT conversation. Kareem is one of those three people. So, shouts to the legend. And, of course, Larry Bird, also legendary 33.
Ooh, okay.
Boston Celtics. And, because I know you're a Knicks fan, certain Knicks player from the heyday of the Knicks. Well, the heyday for you, because, you know, that was only the 90s. I mean, you weren't around in the 70s when they won their titles.
All right, let's relax with that.
A certain Patrick Ewing was also number 33. So, you know, legendary number.
It's like a step up from Jordan, you know, like let's jump up a decade.
I mean, a step up in number, not in play. I was gonna say. I mean, Kareem, yes, you know, him and Jordan, we got that, but the rest of them, let's calm down with that.
Often imitated, never duplicated. You know what I mean?
So tonight is also a special night for you. We're recording this on the first night of Hanukkah, the Festival of Lights. So happy Hanukkah to you and all of my Jewish friends out there. What I was gonna ask you, what do you think you're getting? But you're probably not getting anything tonight. Let's be honest.
No, your girl's not getting anything. Okay? You can interpret that however you'd like. I might be getting some sushi for delivery for dinner. That's about it, Jarod. That's all I got. But you know what?
What kind of sushi?
Weird.
What kind of sushi? Maki roll? Philadelphia roll? Spicy tuna roll?
Are you saying Philadelphia roll because I'm Jewish? That's basically like the sushi version of bagel and lox?
Well, it's delicious. Spicy tuna roll?
It is delicious. I don't know yet.
Oh, okay.
Stop putting me on the spot. You don't know my life, Jarod. It's okay. I don't know yet. You know, Hanukkah, and I know Christmas is going to be the same. It's just different this year, right? Saturday Night Live did a really great spoof of kids not going home for Christmas this year and their parents bugging out because of everything going on with the pandemic. But, you know.
Listen.
there's a lot of other blessings in my life, like you, Jarod.
Oh.
Like the fact that I have KNS on the first night of Hanukkah, that feels like a gift in itself.
See, look at that, folks.
It's a mitzvah, y'all.
It's a mitzvah. Happy Festivus for the rest of us. No, it is it is lovely. It is, you know, this time of year. I talked about it before. It's often my favorite. It is my favorite just because, you know, I like spending time with friends and family and, you know, giving and food and cooking and doing different things. But of course, this year, as we know, different. Won't be doing any of that because, you know, COVID, pandemics. But one of the other things I look forward to in life is coming up, which is NBA basketball, right? We are literally days away from the start of this season, and it's crazy because the previous season just wrapped up with a bunch of Christmas Day games, but a lot's happening right now. So I am thankful for that, thankful for what's going to be going on there, and we are a sneakers show, so segueing into sneakers, Adidas announced that it will be giving Atlanta Hawks young star Trey Young his own signature shoe. When you hear signature shoe, what's the first thing that comes to your mind? Then we can get into Trey Young and all that.
I think it's a shoe that has the functionality of that player. I think the design takes homage to their personal style. Mm-hmm. So I think it's a fashion meets function. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And I think especially in today's day and age, now that more players are getting signature shoes and more brands are really pushing the envelope, I'm excited to see what they come up with because they're also, in that sense, trying to make a splash, right? Mm-hmm. So how are they going to stand out from the rest and not just fall into another boring trial signature shoe? Like what's it going to take to actually make it last past the first few styles? And
I think that you hit the nail on the head there, right? Like first of all, Trey Young's one of the bright young stars in this league, and I will stand corrected. I went on many pods when he in his draft class, and I was like, I don't know, man, this kid's got high bust potential. Look, happy that I was wrong. Like he is excellent, great player, and trending to be great. I wonder, like when Adidas makes that calculation, right? They must believe he can move units, like right. That's what they're thinking in their head. Trey can, because the signature shoe is a big deal, right? And I just wonder, like, because again, take Jordan out of the equation because whatever. That's just who
another level,
right? Besides Kyrie, who's moving units out there? Like NBA players that have shoes. Who like when their shoe comes out, people are like, "Yo, I gotta get those."
I mean, I think Kobe.
Rest in peace,
little bit.
Yeah, but
yes.
Yeah.
No, but I also think I'm surprised you didn't say LeBron's. Not necessarily my bag, but it depends on the style.
But
right?
I feel like they don't move like that. I feel like
some of them do. It depends. I mean, like if you look up the South Beach 8.
Yes, but that's one. That's one shoe.
My home on that one. I know, but there is the cachet and the potential, and I think certain styles do have that. But if you look at every Jordan, not every Jordan.
True.
Either. I mean, there's a whole lot of numbers between 11 and 35. that people often forget about.
You like the 13s, right? The Flint 13s?
Yeah, I think sometimes people like 12, sometimes 13s, maybe a 14 here and there. But aside from that, you don't usually hear people talking about
That's true.
anything in that mid-teens
in the 20s.
to 20s. Yeah, the 20s were like, told you, the 20s is an era of experimentation. You can fail, you're lost, you don't know who you are. But when you get to your 30s,
you figure yourself out. You're back on track.
Back out again. Exactly. See? Bringing it all home, Jarod.
Listen, I to your point though, right? Like I really hope that because this is on the heels of our Steph Curry conversation last week, and I said, look, I'm not a fan of any of the Curry shoe designs. I hope that Adidas really works out something well with Trey and the shoes look good. James Harden's new shoe is also coming out. It was just announced today. It's got a white base and it's got some like interesting like fun colors. The colors. Because it says Boost on the bottom, because the Adidas Boost is like their technology. It reminded me, the colors where they have Boost on the bottom reminded me of the Lyrical Lemonade collaboration. Shouts to our friend Tara. But like, even those shoes, I was like, meh, all right. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah,
I just,
there's nothing that you're like, oh damn, I need this in my life.
Yeah, and I think it's just hard to do that, right? Like, I think it's hard to consistently make a banging shoe like that. Like, it's just difficult.
But Jordans didn't necessarily slay the way that they do now. I mean, from a controversial standpoint, at first, obviously, they made a splash. But, like, ones weren't cool.
Yeah, they weren't.
Until, like, maybe 5 years ago, they weren't a thing. Then all of a sudden, hypebeast culture has taken over. And, I mean, your girl is a victim to that as well. Love a good one. I mean, it's a classic style also, and people love the dunks. And the dunks, they're also having a moment this year, which we've talked about, too. And especially in the past recent years, they've been gaining momentum again. But I think people take a nod to the classic and they love that now. But, it ebbed and flowed as well with those kind of styles. So I think we're putting too much pressure on some of these
you're right.
initial looks. But I'm excited to see what comes out of it.
I mean, because look at Jordans, right? I mean, for me, it's like 1s, 3s, 5s, 6, 7.
I know you don't rock with 4s.
Not really. 11s. Like, yeah, and then I skip 8, 9, 10. I go right to 11. Like, yeah, you're right. Not every one of those are, but I just wonder, right? Like, because for Adidas, they're like, we think this is going to sell units and make a lot of money. That's their thought process. And I guess I'm just curious, what is it about Trey and what you think you can do from a design standpoint that lets you believe he was the right person to pick versus, I don't know, whoever. So some other like super hot upcoming star. It's interesting.
I agree with you. And especially because I feel like, you look at like the Dame Dollas of the world. They have a very specific style. It makes sense. Trey, I don't get as much of a personality from him in terms of style and fashion. So that's why I'm extra intrigued to see kind of where they go with this.
And you hit on the head with Dames. So Dame and Harden have signature Adidas shoes. But those don't even move like that. I mean, they move, but like, you know what I mean? They aren't like, selling out of stores like, oh my God, I gotta get them new Dames, get them new Hardens. It's just interesting, I think. And maybe we need to look at it differently, right? And it's not about, trying to become the next Jordan. Like, that's not a thing.
Agreed.
Right? It's just, look, we think this athlete's good. We're gonna make them a signature shoe, and we'll roll it out and see what happens, right? We'll throw as many darts to the wall and see which one sticks.
I think that's what a lot of it is. And, why not try it if they have the budget to do so?
Well, yes, of course.
You never know what's going to work. And they're reaching a new audience by trying with him in a new city and a new demographic. So, more to come.
It's getting the young fans too, right? I mean, that's and again, that was the big thing with Curry.
Fans?
See what I did there?
You did there.
I know, just by accident. But no, same thing with the Curry, right? Because kids love Steph Curry. Same thing with Trey. They're like, all right, we can get the younger demographics. I think they realize we are not going to capture the OG sneakerheads, right? And that ain't going to be us because they love their Jordans. So how can we go and get the next generation of sneakerheads?
Right. And he's not the player that's going to capture it for us anyway. If I'm looking at the league from a player standpoint of who I'd want to see with a shoe, it's not him. I'm very happy for him. So that came across very wrong. But for me, he's not the selling factor. Like, I can't wait to see what he's coming up with. And I'm excited for him. I think it's a major opportunity for Trae Young. And it really does speak to his skill level and his impact
and for Adidas.
On the league. Yeah, and for Adidas as well. So a lot of big things. But, if I'm thinking of who I like my style after, I usually don't necessarily look towards some of the rookies for that kind of style in terms of street style. I like to go with more of the OGs. So that's just me because I'm an OG.
Well, because we're old. That's right. We're old. That's just how it works.
OG.
You like that? You like that better than old? Okay, fair enough.
Yeah, we're in a different box for us when it comes to age. So
yes, I am old. You are OG.
Speak for yourself.
Fair enough. Fair enough. All right,
age
folks.
like a fine wine.
Speaking of, I'm having a delicious Pinot Noir right now from the Napa Valley. It's quite delicious.
Oh, cheers, Jarod.
Thank you. Shouts to Frank's family. Okay. Stay tuned, guys, because we are going to be joined by someone, obviously, who's involved in the world of sneakers, sports, music. She is a DJ, and I'm just going to leave it there. Stay tuned. Peace. What's up, y'all? We are back. And Gabby, we're not alone. We are joined by a DJ, a sneaker enthusiast, a correspondent. I mean, like everybody else, she's a woman of many talents. DJ Ria. I love it. See, she's her own hype. She's her own hype woman. She don't need nobody. She got it set.
That's what I'm trying. You don't need anybody. You know what I'm saying? You just got to get out of bed, hype yourself up each and every day. Put that battery in your back, because guess what? Nobody's gonna love you like you love yourself.
See,
okay.
I'm good. See, Gabby, you knew. You said you're gonna love her. I'm like, oh, I'm already there. That's my mindset, right? If you don't love yourself, damn, who else is going to?
That's why Gabby and I are just like.
We even coordinated our outfits, guys.
I know.
This was unintentional.
A
whole vibe.
We're like, this is what we're gonna do. I got the Nike sneakers in the background. She got it.
See, listen, you
just tell.
You guys are ready. You guys are ready. So Ria, you're a sneaker enthusiast and you're also a DJ, and actually that's the perfect place to start, because before this call, you just did a set. So talk to us about how you got into the world of DJing.
So, being a basketball player my whole life and / sneaker enthusiast, that also comes within that. So that world started me off in everything. Basketball, that's where I found my love for sneakers. That's where I found my love for the game and for what I'm doing in life now. Because I used to work at Madison Square Garden. I worked there for about 6 years in the front office and field marketing, community relations. And I also worked for the New York Rangers as the floor director. I worked for the WNBA as the fan cam operative. I did a bunch of different stuff there. So when I left, my old boss, Ryan Hulkett, shout out to him, he literally came in. Yes. He literally came in my job when I left the Garden. I was modeling and acting full time, and I was bartending on the side. And he came in my job one day and was like, yo, I have this amazing opportunity for you. We have this halftime talent for Knicks games and intermissions during Ranger games, and it's called Stage Management. They teach models how to DJ. You love music. You played flute and violin. You have a musical background. I think this would be great for you. So I'm like, yeah, whatever, Ryan. Like, I did not believe him. I was just like, whatever. He is like pulling teeth. He finally got me to meet them. I was like, okay, you know what? I'll sit down with these people. Sat down with them, and it's been going on 12 years now, and history, that's it. So all because of him, he put me in a position to work with this company, and I worked with them for about 2 or 3 years. I ventured off, and I've just been managed myself, doing my own thing throughout the industry, and it's been an awesome ride. Because like when I was working at the Garden as well, I also hosted on this show called Summer Ball. So that's how like hosting ended up coming back full circle, working for ESPN as a correspondent in the past year because of that one job as well. And just the relationships I built off of basketball. And Bobito Garcia, if you guys know Bobito Garcia,
of course.
Basketball street legend. He's also a DJ as well. My family, he's the one that actually did this show called Sneaker Center where I was a correspondent on. hence sneakers, you know what I'm saying? So like love sneakers. Sneaker Center is awesome. And he is the producer of that show. And it's all because of basketball. Like if I didn't meet him when I was 14 or 15 years old, who knows if I would have ever been where I am right now.
Wow. All right. So we're going to get, there was a lot right there. We're going to get into the modeling. No, we're going to get into all that stuff. But so you've DJed. So we've had DJ Juanito on and we've had Cypher Sounds on as well. And I asked them the same question I'm going to ask you. What is it like when you're DJing? And I mean, it's been different now because COVID, but back in the day when you could actually go places and do a party, when you have that, when you're in that groove and the crowd is just feeling, and you're like, and you play like 30 songs in a row, and they're like, man, she gets us. Yeah. What does that feel like? I mean, I can tell you're wilding right now.
It is the best feeling. Like sometimes I want to cry. It's like to be able to move a crowd, and I've done everything from concerts, small ones to big ones to festival stuff. So to be able to shift and move all those people and have them all on the same vibe and frequency is insane. And like, it's just something that you build up. So like, I'm even dancing all the time when I'm playing my songs or bopping. Like, you know, like the guy that taught me was like, you should just tap your foot. And I'm like, no, like I get into it. So I'm always like super into it. But when that beat drops and like I said, you're able to just shift that crowd and it, like instill life in them, like in some sense. And that energy, there's no other feeling like it. Like seriously, it's, I don't know. It's like winning basketball games. Like I love, like I'm like, yeah, I got the crowd on my side. Like, you know, that's the biggest thing, especially as a DJ. You're not there DJing for yourself. You're up there DJing to work the people, move the people, make them fall in love with you and tell a story through your music. So
I love that. I love that.
The ultimate feeling.
You mentioned it's like basketball, right? So you said you were a basketball player. So what was that journey? Where'd you grow up and where'd you grow up playing hoop?
So I'm from New York City, born and raised, Lower East Side. And I started off playing, I was in private school, but I started off playing in third grade at my local parish, like the church that I went to, and I was allowed to play. So I played Catholic basketball, CYO basketball, all the way up. And then finally, like I was really taking it serious. I played so many other sports. I played volleyball, track, field, soccer. I was on a swim team for 8 years. Wow. I did every sport pretty much, but tennis, golf, and hockey. Like I did roller hockey.
Jarod and I played those, so we got to cover.
Exactly. So that's perfect. So like we make an ultimate team right here, okay? We make the ultimate dream team right here. But I got into it. I left and I wanted to get more serious, so I started playing with with AAU team. I started off with called Inner City Stingers down on Carmine Street. If you guys know Carmine Recreation, which is on the west side. And then I transitioned into Exodus. So Exodus is an amazing squad. Products that have come out of it are all in the WNBA. Like I even got picked up, but I failed my physical, so I couldn't play. I played overseas instead. But we got Epiphany Prince, Kia Vaughn, Bria Hartley. I mean, the list goes on. Those are just legends. Like the top ones right now in the WNBA. You know what I'm saying? So it's been awesome. And that team really kind of put me in position to go for a basketball scholarship in college. I got a bunch of opportunities because I played with that team and because they were like, we lost maybe 2 games, like our whole career, you know, when I was playing with that squad. Like, yeah, we were really good. They were awesome. And that's kind of what projected me into college, playing overseas. And then I had an injury that plagued me, which is why I stopped playing overseas. And I came back home and I played, and I worked for the New York Knicks. And that's when I had my job working there.
Where'd you play high school and college ball?
So I played St. Michael's my last 2 years because that's where my coach from Exodus, his name is Apache Pascal, who had passed away, unfortunately. But he was the coach there at that time. And that's the main reason why I went. So I went to Rudolph Steiner. That's all on the Upper East Side. I went there from nursery to sophomore year. I lived in Germany my sophomore year of high school on exchange.
Cool.
I came back, and that's what helped project me to trading, basically going to another school. So that's when I got traded to St. Michael's, and I played there, and then I played New Hampshire, Franklin Pierce University of New Hampshire. I played there for basketball.
Wow, you and Germany, well traveled. I'm liking this.
Yes, yeah, ich live there for 2 Jahre. Feeling.
Okay. I love it. Where's your favorite place that you've been though on all these travels?
Oh, okay. So like worldwide, I would say Greece. I love Greece. My family, we've been traveling since I was 3 years old. My family, I never went to Disneyland until I was like 26, and that's because like an ex dude I talked to took me there. Like my family was like, we're not wasting money on this. Like we're gonna take you on educational trips, and like when we were kids, you know, you're like no. But I am so blessed and thankful for my parents doing that because I'm so like versed and like open-minded and just like seeing the world and traveling the world and the experiences that I've had because of that and understanding different cultures is so freaking awesome. And like, if my parents didn't put me in, or my sister in that position, who knows? I've been on the block, you know, over here in Manhattan. But yeah, so it's been really awesome. I would definitely say Greece, but I'm a beach baby. So beach wise and all of that. Okay, definitely the beaches in Greece are awesome. And then anywhere in the Caribbean, I'm like I love the Caribbeans.
Okay.
And I still have a lot to go. I still have to go to Italy. I still have to go to Spain and France. Like I passed through Spain and France and never, like I didn't get to travel and hang out. So those are like 2 musts that I have to do.
Let me tell you, you will have a lovely time in Italy, Spain, and France. They are incredible countries. And like, I mean, it's one of those things, every time you go to Europe, right, it's always like you come back, you're like, God damn, I need another like 2 weeks in like whatever place, right?
Oh, yeah.
But it's like, you know.
Like I need to unplug and go.
So you are also a Wilhelmina model. So I imagine does that take, does your Wilhelmina modeling career take you places as well?
Oh, yeah. So I've been with Wilhelmina. They call me an OG, which is hilarious because I've been with the agency for over 10 years. They just re-signed me again for another 3 years.
Congrats.
So thank you. They're so awesome. And I've traveled with them. I've gone to several different places, mostly actually in the U.S. I haven't gone overseas because I do a lot of commercial work and I do a lot of sports stuff and I'm in the sports and fitness division and in the showroom. So most of it is just like runway stuff, fittings, and then all commercial work. You see me in Under Armour, Nike, Jordan, a bunch of different things. So yeah.
Love it. So this keeps you quite busy. I mean, what is your, you know, people always talk about this business. They're like, oh, you know, Trae, Gabby, you guys, you go 24/7. And we're like, yeah, that's kind of what this life is. You're constantly hustling. But we always talk about self-care, right? Like as much as you got to do, because you want to promote and do your thing, if you're not taking care of you, none of this is going to happen. So what are some things you do for yourself to self-care to make sure you're able to keep that battery charged?
So it's funny, everybody, because of my personality and just like, I feed off of other people too. So just like, if I see you and like Gabby, like I love her soul. So like, she makes me happy. So I'm like, and then I exude that back and she gives it back and it's like, bing, 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 bing.
We're just like this. See? Just like this, Jarod.
So like, that is super, like people would think I'm such an extrovert and I am, yes, publicly. But I'm such an introvert. Like I technically hate people in a weird way. Like I love to be home. I love to be in my zone. I love to chill. Like my well-being and wellness is to unplug because like we live in the matrix. Like let's just give it up. We live in the matrix. Okay. We plug in. I'm always plugged in. I always feel like like this whenever I'm on my phone. Like it gives me a little bit of anxiety actually because I manage myself on top of it. So it's like Maria is DJ Ria's manager. So it's like I have Maria over here and then I'm like over here. So I need to take breaks and just relax. So going away and trying to go away on vacation is good. But like I can only do a few days because then I get that itch like I got to work. I can't be complacent. I feel like I'm not doing anything. But then I also love to just work out. That has been my sanctuary. It always has been. It's always been a release of any type of built up energy, anything I've ever been doing. So back in the day, I would definitely say it was like if I was playing basketball, I would go run in the middle of the night or something, or I would go run and like just sprint and get it all out of me. Unfortunately, I broke my ankle about 5 years ago, not playing during a slip and fall accident.
Uh-oh.
So yeah. And I was no. Chucks. I was like, it was like a regular day. Like, it was so bad. Anyways, that deterred me. And it was just like, I just went through it a little bit. I actually became a little bit depressed. I've never been depressed in my life. Both my parents are psychologists. My dad has his doctorate. He's a psychotherapist. And my mom, she also had her master's and she taught for like 23 years as a head psychologist, head social worker. So like my parents are like my rock, but they also help me understand my foundation, to vent, to do whatever. And they're not biased. So like, I really love them. Like they really just give it to me how it is. So that's super key. And I know a lot of people, especially with things going on today, don't take mental health as a big deal, or mental illnesses or anything like that. And your mental health is super, super key, especially during these times, during quarantine. You know, I even get a little kooky in the house, you know, like, so I can't, and I'm kind of sane. So like, I can't imagine what other people are going through, you know? So that's something I definitely would say. Talk to a friend, call a friend, hit them up, ask them how they're doing. You never know what's going on in people's lives. And, just to speak about it and to vent is really big. I wear my emotions on my sleeve. So if you were ever to see me mad, like, this is me. So if you were to ever see me mad, you would just know, like, you would know. Like, half the time I don't even want to be out of public, or I'll let you see it, because it's like, see this? It's the 100% opposite of this. So it's like resting bitch face on 100. Like, so yeah, it could be extreme. So that's why, like, I try to just instill this positivity in my life and put the battery in my back. That's something I think as an athlete that I've always had instilled in me, just to self-motivate and, you know, push further and grind and hustle and all those words, like, definitely meant something to me playing sports and then cross over into my life. So yes.
Yeah. I love that. And I know you talk a lot about mental health and self-care. How has this pandemic really affected you, and what are you doing? I know we talked a little bit about what you're doing at home, but, like, you know, as an entrepreneur, I mean, and with who's so involved in sports, this has had to be a major life change. So, you know, what kind of stuff are you doing at home now that things are starting to open, but transitioning back into that lifestyle?
Yeah. So once again, I always stay busy. I'm like a creative in general. So my mind does not stop working. It's always like, like, I can never be complacent. That's something I don't like in life. Like, I like to achieve and move and grind. So right now, for my sanity, I've been doing Pilates and yoga just in the house. My in-home workouts have been awesome. They're not the same, but I'm learning to adapt and just trying to get used to it. Just in case we do go into the second shutdown again, I'm already going to be prepared, because I did like 3 months of home workouts and I felt great and I looked good and I was dedicated. And my teachers even transitioned their stuff, my in-person teachers, to online. So it made it a lot easier. And me personally, I'm just, like I said, grinding. So what I've been doing is trying to study for other professions, because DJing has been hard. I'm actually very lucky and on the luckier side compared to a lot of DJs because of personality, which is really helpful during this, because you have to go virtual on pretty much everything. So because of that, I've actually gotten gigs, and it's been really good trying to just maneuver that way, or get the buzz heard about me, like in the streets, I want to say. So that's really big, because I know a lot of DJ friends of mine that kind of fizzled out. And if it's kind of like out of sight, out of mind, like if I'm not hearing your name or seeing you or something, this industry just does that. So I'm always trying to stay relevant. I'm always trying to stay on top of it. I'm always trying to shift and move. I've been studying for real estate, and I've been studying for my NASM. The real estate is a little bit on the back burner, because my NASM, I'm right there. I'm almost in the last few chapters. So I'm going to take that, because I've always worked with kids. I've been a coach since I've been 14. I know the body. I understand it. I love, you know, working with people in general. So I thought this was something I could put under my belt as well. So I'm looking at that. And then DJing, just trying to get myself on this DSP, this digital social platform stuff. And just trying to find ways of how I can promote myself, how I can still get my name out there through ads or whatever it is. I've been on Clubhouse, if people haven't heard of Clubhouse. And I've been going in on that, finding so many amazing connections. And that's like love, like that's life for me, and love, because right now I'm a people person. Like Maria would be going out 2 to 3 times a week trying to get DJ Ria's marketing right? So I would go to daytime events at least once a week and a nighttime event. So I would meet different people and cross over, you know, because they're 2 different worlds. I work a lot in corporate. And that's kind of what really hurt me in a bad and good way. But corporate, you make a lot of money as a DJ. Like I would maybe make a few $100s in the club when I would make a few stacks in a corporate gig. So I started transitioning like 2 years ago to just working with agencies, with marketing agencies and stuff like that. And it was great because they would get me all these top clientele that were in the industry. But because of it now, there's no big, large events. People aren't doing that. So I'm still trying to reach out, go through my Rolodex and reach out to these people and still offer my services. trying to let them know, like, I'm still down to do it. We could just do a Zoom party. But the blessing in disguise is one of my friends, Michael Willis, came out the woodworks with this new thing. He quit his job working at JetBlue and all these other things to start Paint and Sip, which is what I just literally got off of and hopped on here with you. And he has me booked. I'm doing 3, 4, 5 gigs a week. And that's been a super blessing. And it's private, or it's like we have open public nights where you can do hip hop Saturdays, R&B Fridays. We have like an erotic night on some nights. You know, after dark. So you guys like that?
Okay, when it's paying I'm signing us up.
You what?
I
didn't say for the erotic one, but we're going out. We're going to take your Pinot Noir on the road, Jarod, okay?
I would love to. Look, I still have a little bit of my sip from
the
party.
See that? Cheers.
So cheers to you guys.
You know,
but they've been a blessing. So I've really like transitioned into that and love them for that. So shout out to Paint and Sip Live.
Ria, God, we could talk to you for hours. Something you said really just like, I was like, whoa, what was it like growing up in a house with 2 parents who were psychologists? You couldn't pull shit on them because they were probably like, no, sit down. Let me tell you about how this is actually going to go.
Let me tell you about your this is your sanguine side. And I'm like, huh? Honestly, everything my parents have said made no sense until I was probably like 20. Like one day, I think I was 26 and it clicked. And I was like, oh my God, everything my parents and coaches said was real and the truth. But they've been super awesome. Like, a lot of people don't understand. They try to grasp onto this external and artificial life that does not exist. This social media platform where people can cap all day and do whatever they want to do. And I really live my life. Like, this is really what I do. And it's just different. It's just different. So my parents will tell me about myself, but a lot of people have to work on themselves from the inside out. Like, why I guess I radiate and whatever is because I'm actually happy with myself inside. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people are wanting to change their filters and their face and their attributes. Like, you just got to love what God gave you because he gave it to you. And I literally am just trying to accept all of that. You know, some days you got to put on a little makeup. You got to fix your hair. You got to do a little something. But you know what I'm saying? But I'm satisfied with what's going on here. And as long as I, thank God each and every day and pray and give it up to him, I know I'm in good hands. And I just have faith. Like, my mom used to be a nun for 16 years.
Whoa.
So she prays for me each and every day, honey. So it's all her prayers. All her prayers are working.
I mean, Gabby, we might have to have this the first time a repeat guest. We have to bring her back on because there's so much.
Really so much. But I think like it's the authenticity for me, right?
It is.
Like, that's where your glow comes from.
Yep.
It's not just like loving yourself. I mean, that's part of it, but it's like you can tell. There's no cap.
She is.
Right? Like,
she is 100% a real one.
Influencers, look a certain way on their stories, their Instagram, and then you meet them in person and they have the personality of a wet sponge. You are not that wet sponge, my friend.
No, she's a real one, and you can pick that up. Well, folks, we are in fact a sneaker show, so stay tuned because we're going to be back with America's favorite segment, Shoe and Tell. I know Ria's got some heat for us to see, so stay tuned. What's up, guys? We are back. So it is time for my favorite, your favorite, America's favorite segment, Shoe and Tell. Now, I know Ria's got some heat she wants to show us. So, Ria, the floor is yours.
Okay. Well, I've cleaned out a lot of my closet. Since I'm grown now, I got rid of a lot of my sneakers.
I'm grown now. I love it.
I feel seen right now. I feel seen.
So I wear a lot more heels now, but I do have some of my favorites. I will show you. So classics, just to keep it simple. I got to get the Chucks.
Oh, okay. Okay.
So I was asking you before if you stuck with Chucks after that injury. Okay, so the answer is yes.
Exactly. And that's the thing. I looked at them. It took me a while. It did take me a while there, Gabby. I was like, I love you. Why did you do this to me? Like, I swear. And I think about a year and a half, 2 years in, I got over it. And I went back to my Chucks. So I feel good about that.
That's so interesting you said that because we had a guest on, Ria, Sean Crawford, basketball coach. He wore Kobe's and he busted his ACL twice. No more Kobe's. Done. He does not wear those shoes anymore. Over.
Oh, I love Kobe.
But you stay with it. I appreciate that.
Yes. I had to. Plus, I had a really cool story that I was golfing one time during LA All-Star Weekend when that was in 2011.
Yeah.
And I was on the golf course, and the person in front of me was Clyde Drexler and, of course, Dr. J.
Oh.
And Dr. J in person is so fine. I'm not going to lie. He is so charismatic. I just was like, and when they finished the game, like we ran into them again when we were leaving. And the thing is, he's pulling up his car. He goes to put his clubs in the back of his trunk, and he puts on Chucks. And I was like, I'm in love. So, he was like the original wearer of those.
No doubt,
so, like,
no doubt.
Definitely, that's my little Chuck story and why I'll forever love some Converse Chucks.
I mean, did you holler at Dr. J? I mean, you might as well. I mean, shoot.
I kind of did, but he could have been somebody's daddy, so like I didn't want to. But he definitely gave me the love. You know what I'm saying? So I felt good about myself.
I love it.
Next up.
Oh,
a little
I love the Harachis. So the Harachis are fire. I love the all red ones. This is probably one of my favorite pairs. I wasn't really big into Harachis when I was in high school. I know it was a big fad and everyone loved them. I kind of got into it more in the past few years. So I was like, let me get these because these are a must, the blood red. And it goes with my outfit once again.
Love it. See,
switching up because I am a Nike baby. I did get blessed with these Reebok Sandros at one point. So these are fire. I like these. They're like, you know what I'm saying? They go with the personality.
The metallic, I love that.
They do go with the personality.
So I will appreciate these Nikes. They're called the Paris Sandros. So those are one of my favorites.
Wow.
For the ladies, because athleisure's in, to switch it up a little bit.
Oh, okay.
These are the Air Force, but the lunar ones. So they have a little bit of a heel. So, if you want to dress it up and look a little cute or wear with the dress, and the little Velcro. I love it.
I have to ask, though, are those comfortable?
Okay, so yes and no. I'm dead ass.
I just want to hear your thoughts because I got thoughts too, girl.
Yes, because there's certain shoes, like when this even style was in maybe like a year or two ago, now they're kind of vintage, but I like that. But when this was in, like I was like, okay, but then my feet were always at the front of my shoe. Yep. And I'm like, I don't like this. I can't. So that's another reason why the Air Max 70s, I think they are, like I love them, but they have a little bit of a heel and like that messes up my feet. Like I can't. My toes hurt, everything hurts. So these are only if you want to like go out and dress up and like be kind of comfortable.
Kind of comfortable.
My thoughts are the same on those, so that's why I had to ask. But okay.
Yes. One of my recent updates I got this year that I love that I just wear with everything because I could dress it down and I could dress it up were these Nikes.
Okay.
And these are actually guys, but I wear a lot of guys' shoes. Like, because the thing is, they didn't start really coming out with a lot of cool girls, like women's stuff, until recently in the past few years. So growing up, the guys had the hottest shoes. Like I would wear up-tempos. I would wear the Penny Hardaways. Like they always had fly guy shoes. They never had cool, like the girls were pink and purple and that was it.
Oh.
And I was always like the red. Like I was always a sporty spice. So like I was definitely like a sporty tom girl. Well, tomboy, I want to say. So like I would always dress in like the reds, the blacks, the blues, and like the girls would always be in pink and purple. And I'm like, it's so not me.
See, this is why you and Gabby are so connected because you guys are literally the same person. Because every time a new release comes out, Gabby's like, Jarod, are they pink and purple? And I'll be like, yes. Why? Like,
why?
I love it.
So you know.
My boo.
I love it.
Right.
I love it.
I just got blessed with these recently, and these are the Air Force ones, the 07s, and these are pretty fly. If you're from New York, you love you some
Uptowns.
So definitely, these are in my new rotation. These are the Blazers. So I'm loving these, and they have like the cool inside.
I like them. I like them.
The cool, they could dress them up a little.
You can.
With the 4 silver checks.
Yep.
And even the Blazers have them too in gold.
Yeah,
I
they
really
do.
like that. This shoe is very sentimental to me because this is the Nike swoosh. These are Nike by you. So these were custom made and these were from Hawaii.
Oh.
So my coach Apache, when I was back and I graduated, I went back and I coached St. Michael's, my old school. And I loved coaching the girls. When I went to the Garden, that's when I was coaching, because working at the Garden, St. Michael's was right there on 33rd and 9th.
Yep.
So if you know Madison Square Garden, right by 34th Street in that area, literally walk one block, I was coaching. So this year we played Poly Prep and all of them in this tournament, in this crazy Hawaiian tournament. And these were the shoes. Like these, if I tell you how old these shoes are and they're still in great shape and in contact and everything, like it's definitely 15 plus years. Like I want to say it's 15 years, but it has the 25th anniversary over here of that tournament. And it just has really cool, intricate designs. And I will never wear these, and I will just hold on to them for life, because it's a sentiment of our coach Apache that passed away. And these will forever be everything to me.
I love it. I love it.
And then the last pair that I have.
Look at
are the Dave Whites, the ones, and these are super important to me.
Yeah, those are dope.
I was gonna sell them. They're going for like 600 something right now, and I need money. But I will never sell these, because when I worked for Jordan Brand, I worked for the company for 3 years. And we were in this program called the Flight Ambassador.
Yep.
You guys know Jason.
Of course.
Yep. So I was the only female out of 7 guys. And it was awesome. Well, 6 guys, me 7. Okay, team of 7. Yeah, 6 guys. I was the only female, and this was when we went to Orlando. And we had All-Star down there. And I always got gifted with shoes because we worked for the company. But I was like, you know what? I'm going to buy my first and my own pair. And when I wanted to be like the guys. So they were all going to the sneaker store. And they were like, oh, we're getting all these new shoes. The drops. This comes out. And I'm like, okay, let me get those. Those look fly. So this is my memory of working with Jordan Brand. My favorite shoe of all time are the ones. So this little piece will always be...
I like those. Those are fire. Those are fire.
And it smells good.
That's how you know it's real, girl. That's how you know it's real.
That is how you know it's real. Shouts to Jordan Brand. No, I mean, it is funny though, right, Gabby? We have so many guests on this show, and they're all somehow tangentially or like Jordan Brand adjacent, right? Like they either worked for them at one time or their boy was someone who worked there. Like everybody's got that Jordan Brand connect. It's quite nice.
Yes.
The larger Nike Jordan Brand family. It's a beautiful thing.
Most of us, Trey, not all of us, but yeah.
you have connects there too.
Dope. Yes, she did. Yes, she did. Listen, Gabby, please. If Gabby got connects everywhere, I'm hollering at her. She's everywhere. Like Gabby and I have crossed paths in so many
places.
Doing so many different things. Like when we were at Sirius, working at the Garden, when I worked for the NFL, her and I worked for the NFL, auditing the NFL.
At the Henny party in Chicago.
You see?
Girl, please. Our list goes on. Like,
it's true.
You know what I'm saying? I love you. And you're like I call it the modern day Renaissance woman. And we are out there doing our thing. So kudos to you. I'm giving you all the flowers.
Look at that.
You got some flowers too.
Thank you, Ria. I appreciate that.
Look at Brian Halk, get a few flowers too.
People, all of them.
No, this was
without those relationships, we would not be here.
Absolutely.
And I think that's the biggest thing about this, right? We just love connecting people and the relationships that exist in this space, right? Because we're all creatives in this sports, media, entertainment space. And if we could do anything to like lift one another up, it's because it's competitive, right? It's a super competitive business. But our thing is like, look, we all share a common connection and a love for something. Let's promote each other and make this a beautiful thing. So we appreciate you. Thank you for blessing us and joining this show.
Thank you, guys.
We love you, girl. And I have to say, Jarod asked me at the beginning of the show what I wanted for Hanukkah. This is all that this little schmatza could ever want. You know what I mean? It's Hannah with my girl.
See, it's beautiful.
I love
it's a mitzvah.
Well, we love you. Thank you. Ria, where can
tuning in, and I love it.
Thank you. Where can the people find you, Ria?
You guys can find me on all platforms. It's Ria5, or just type in DJ Ria. My website is www.djria.nyc.
I mean,
it's the best place to be.
I mean, I will attest to that.
But yeah, you can contact me. All my stuff is there on my pages, to go to Instagram, social media, all those platforms. So just go to my website or go on Ria5 or type in DJ Ria and I will pop up.
Love it, love it. And folks, you know where to find KNS as always. Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, YouTube, SoundCloud. We are everywhere. Instagram, Twitter, @Kicks and Shit Show. You know what it is. And we'll see you next time. Peace.